In this video, we would like to talk about what objects and substances are and how they differ from each other. We would also talk about what the state of matter is and what the properties of solids, liquids, and gases are. Let's get on with it. First, then, let us say what is the difference between an object and a substance. An object is a very important concept in physics. An object is actually a general term for anything. Examples include a football, a ball, a car, a glass, water, a person, and so on. A larger object can be the planet Earth or the Sun. We can also refer to bacteria or viruses as very small objects. In physics, when we talk about the fact that there are rules for an object, it means that this will be true for a person, a prism, a car, a jar, planet Earth, just about anybody you can think of. In contrast, a substance is what an object is made of. Examples include water, wood, iron, steel, salt, plastic, then metal, mercury, and so on. So, if we have, for example, the substance wood, then an object that consists of wood could be a door or a table. Here we can see the fundamental difference between an object and a substance. Physicists often divide substances according to their state of matter, into solid, liquid and gas. Objects that consist of solids are called solids. Objects that consist of liquid substances are called liquids. Objects that consist of gaseous substances are called gases. We will now discuss the key properties of solids that distinguish them from liquids and gases. In particular, solids don't change their shape or change their shape very hard. This means that if I put a Rubik's Cube on the table, for example, it won't roll on the table, but it will keep its shape. We call this property that solids are not fluid. The second property is that solids are incompressible. If I push on them, nothing will happen to the solid, and if it does, it certainly won't decrease in size. Examples of solids include a brick or a wooden box. Another example might be a modeling clay. Because it does not spread out on the table by itself, so it cannot be liquid, and because pushing on the modeling clay does not reduce its size, it cannot be compressible. The second state is the liquid state. We will focus on two properties by which each liquid can be distinguished from solids and gases. The first is that liquids easily change their shape to fit the container in which we carry them. Thus, a liquid in one container will have a different shape than if we pour the liquid into another container. This property is called fluidity, and that is why we say liquids are liquid. The second property is the incompressibility of liquids. If we pump water into a syringe and plug the opening, no matter how hard we push on the syringe plunger, the volume of the liquid will not decrease. So, we say that liquids are incompressible. Liquids can be, for example, the aforementioned water, gasoline, oil, vinegar, and so on. Now let's talk about gaseous substances. Like liquids, gases change shape easily. This is a little more difficult to observe with gases because much of the gases we encounter are colorless and transparent. However, if we are cooking and the smell of food enters the air, the smell soon encompasses the whole room and we can smell the smell of food anywhere in the room. So, the smell of the food must have spread throughout the room. So even gases are liquid as well as liquids. They adapt to the shape of the container. The second property of gases is that they can be partially compressed. If we were to repeat the syringe experiment and fill it with air instead of water and again plug the opening, pushing on the plunger would cause the volume of gas in the syringe to decrease and therefore verify that the gas is indeed compressible. You can try it yourself. It is important to know that we cannot compress the gas indefinitely. There will come a point in the compression when we no longer have enough force to reduce the volume of gas even further. That's why we say that gases are partially compressible. Examples of gases are air, oxygen, hydrogen, and carbon dioxide. If we summarize the states of each substance and their properties, we can create the following table. In the first row we have listed the individual states and in the first column their properties. Solids are therefore neither liquid nor compressible. Liquids, on the other hand, are liquid but not compressible, and gases are both liquid and partially compressible. It is important to note that almost any substance can take on all states of matter at different temperatures. Take water, for example, which is a liquid. If we heat it up, it becomes water vapor, which is a gaseous substance, and if we cool it down, it becomes ice, which is a solid. The point is that it's still the same substance, it just has different states of matter at different temperatures, and we can see that with other substances as well. For example, steel melts into a liquid in a steel mill at high temperature. A gas like nitrogen, for example, becomes liquid at low temperatures, and so on. Now let's summarize what we learned in the video and what we should know now. We should know the difference between an object and a substance. We should know the three states of matter: solid, liquid, gas, and know the properties by which we can safely identify these states. That would be all for this video. If you like the video, don't forget to like or subscribe.